Lost inside your warmth and
There we go. We ought to be hot now. If you tuned in or connected with us, please let me know if we are now hot.
Every time you whisper low to me, I believe it.
Look out, Jay Freeman. Thank you so much. Let me know when you can hear something, Jay Freeman. I think I got the sound right now. Oh man, my people be on me. That's what I'm talking about. We talking about support. We talking about support. We talking about support. We ain't talking about talking about one another. We talking about when it ain't right, walk up and whisper it. What did Malcolm X say about airing out our differences, Brother Kareem? Keep it in the house. We do too much talking. We doing too much blast. I want to challenge everybody. Keep your business off of Facebook for one day. Just one day. Just one day. Can they do it, Miss Tripp? Nah. You think they can? Watch what I say when I say this. What Miss Tripp gonna correct. Miss Tripp ain't nowhere in the hell we're gonna be able to keep it right. Okay, she's keeping it simple with me this evening. But anyway, we got some great superheroes in here. We're gonna go ahead and connect because Brother Kareem got a lot to say, and we have a short amount of time to say it in. Brother Kareem, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, sir?
Sure.
Okay, go right ahead and let them know who you are. Hey, I've been talking to this brother. I did a camera interview with him in his den. I did a couple of radio interviews over the telephone. I finally got him in the building. He brought his queen with him, Queen Rashida. Can I say that right? Did I say that right? See, when you come to the CERT, you get to meet the family. And she makes sure you eat. But you got to pay attention. You got to pass the test. If you don't pass the test, you got to pay for the meals. But go right ahead, Brother Kareem, and let them know who you are, sir, before we connect.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you for inviting us to come out and enjoy the conversation with the community. I'm Brother Kareem Muhammad, director of the local organizing committee in the South and Southwest region. Also the co-chair of the local organizing committee here in Jackson, Mississippi. The local organizing committee is not an organization, but it's a conglomerate of organizations working together collectively to be a voice and a liaison between the community, city, state, and local government. The local organizing committee consisted of progressive organizations, entrepreneurs, religious institutions working together, such as the NAACP, Nation of Islam, New Black Panther Party, National Association for Colored Women, 100 Black Men's, AME churches, and other organizations that are progressively working together along with black businesses that are progressively trying to be a liaison and a voice for the community.
Excellent. And I can give some firsthand knowledge about the LOC, being a part of it, been blessed to be brought on by Brother Kareem to partner with him also during my time at one of the humanitarian organizations that step in during disasters and emergencies. Yeah. So the LOC has stepped in the Rolling Fork disaster, in Greenville, in the flooding situation. The list goes on, and it's really all about how a local organized organization can be the link in the chain between a lot of disjointed organizations and community itself, and between government. So it's been my pleasure and honor to be able to learn more and do more with the LOC. So, Brother Kareem,
hold on, big sis. Can I connect us first?
Oh, I thought we were connected.
No, let me get us connected.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Because Miss Tripp to take off. Hold on, guys. Let me get us in here.
I broke this summary down of the new paradigm.
Yeah, she finna put it in my life. Hold on just a minute. Let me do the little promo. Did you see them eyes she made?
So me introduce myself wasn't on there?
Yes, sir, it was. Oh. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. That's like the intro. That's the pre-intro.
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go. We got about 2 minutes. Sorry about that, Miss Tripp. Thank you. Chop me up, man. You know I don't know how to act when you come in.
Hey, 601. Unity, love, and peace. Get peace. Love, community, skill.
I'm gonna get out the way there.
Hey, everybody. Hey, got something to say. Listen. Hey, we got something to say. Hey. Reach one, teach one, community strong. Hey, we got something to say. Hey, we got something to say. Hey, better get off the couch. Reach one, teach one, community strong. Welcome to the show. We about to drop some knowledge. The Mr. Howard Sanders with the brother Coach Body. Superheroes, conversation about the real. They try to keep it clean, but let's express how you feel. Good spirit, good vibe, no hatred or no hate. We all in the same game, we'll change a better day. The prophet of the truth, initials POT. No price tag on this knowledge, you can get it for the free. Reach one, teach one, the old and the young. We got it by the spirits with the power of the tongue. I'm on the inside looking out, they on the outside looking in. Keeping cordial, don't export it, call them family, call them friends. You pursue what you can do is show love, count your bliss. Life is hard, but it's fair, and it comes with some lists. Mental power for an hour, want some knowledge, come to college. Important people, different topics, not that daily garbage gossip. Hey, we got something to say. Listen. Hey, we got something to say. Listen. Hey, better get off the couch. Reach one, teach one, community strong. Hey, we got something to say. Hey, we got something to say. Hey, better get off the couch. Reach one, teach one, community strong.
Congratulations on your award. You got an award, didn't you? From the Torchlight. Yeah.
Juneteenth.
Hey, before we really blast off, we want to acknowledge a lady that's in the building. It wouldn't be right, and I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Sister Rashida. Did I say that right, Brother Kareem?
Yes.
And we want to make sure that we celebrate her, because this lady, I'm talking about, sets the bar for working, for getting it in. She just got an award, Brother Kareem. Would you give us a little insight on the award that she received during the Juneteenth Festival down in, was that in Greenville, Mississippi?
Absolutely.
Give us a little insight to that, sir.
Well, the local organized committee gives our major award. We give out several awards every year, but the major award that we give out once a year is the Torchlight for American Award. And that award goes to the outstanding individual that has showed commitment, devotion, and sacrifice throughout the year. And this year, in Juneteenth, we gave that to Sister Rashida for all that she has done over the years, especially what she did this year.
That's my folks from Nairobi, Kenya. She over there cracking up. You ain't here. You ain't here. I gotta get me in for a dog. This is Hey man, I love to see Brother Kareem smile. All right, Brother Kareem, one other thing I want to ask, and I'm going to get out the way, and then you're going to give us a little intro, sir. But I got a little saying here that says 1% better every day. 1% better every day. Give me a little insight to that before we get started.
Is that if we wake up today, we want to be better than what we was yesterday. If we wake up today, we want to do something better than what we did yesterday. Every day is a better day, and we must progress that day. We never let the day that we wake up be less than what we were the day before.
Powerful. Now you want to go ahead and take us into bringing us into your space, sir?
Sure. Oh, Heavenly Father, we ask you to come into our hearts today as we open up this dialogue and talk about your work that are being done in the community. We ask you to bring into our mouth your words. We ask you to give us the strength to speak the truth to our people, that we may enlighten them, empower them. In your holy and righteous name, we say amen.
Amen. Amen. I have my hat on, but don't tell my grandfather. Don't tell my granddad. He probably looking down on me. All right, Miss Tripp, it's your show. Do what you do. I'm going to work these cameras over here. Go right ahead. It's your show.
All right. Well, I want to thank you, first of all, for being here, Brother Kareem. Yeah. You know, it's always an education when you're around and touching the people with knowledge and enlightening, uplifting us in the community. So we want to start with talking about the new paradigm shift.
Wow.
Okay, we want to just dive right into that. So I want you to just kind of give an overview. If you had to give a summary of what the paradigm shift recommendation plan is about.
Yes. Thank you for addressing that, because I think that's something that we need to be at this time of this dispensation, need to be talking about this new paradigm shift recommendation and position paper. First and foremost, it's a paper that research that was done for over 8 years. In 2015, after we came back from the 10-10-15, and the Honorable Ms. Farrakhan gave us instructions to go back and make our community a better and safe place to be. One of the first things we wanted to do was do a research on the community. We wanted to do a survey on the community. And so we went through 8 years of radio talk shows, town hall meetings, conferences, and community outreach that we were able to do researches on different topics such as the black woman, black leadership, the church, to identify some of the inputs that was being done in the community. We deal with the black man, the responsibility to identify whose role was it in the community to go in the community and change the community. And so the new paradigm shift came out of that. Mm-hmm. And what it represents is it has 2 parts of it. The position paper that we talk about, to position as to how, as a black people, we got in the conditions that we are in, such as poverty, health disparity, inadequate education, and how and what that came out of. And we talked a little bit about the fact that mass incarceration has become a large part of our community, which means that majority of our scientists and our future doctors and lawyers are being lost to either gun violence or in prison. And then the second part of the new paradigm shift deals with recommendations as to what we found that was some of the recommendations that could be used to go into the community and help solve some of the issues in the community in regard to working with the leadership such as the city and state government. And some of those recommendations was things such as having a youth council,
yes,
having a city council advisory committee, and other things such as a street patrol. And that's something we're going to be talking about in a little bit as well. But it also talked about other things such as having Afrocentric curriculums for our community, because that's one of the major things that we found out in our research, that our biggest problem is our people don't know their own history. And they're out there promoting someone other than themselves, values and principles. And when you have a people that's promoting somebody else's values and principles, let's not say a people. When you have black folks celebrating somebody else's values and principles, you find what we find in our black community: destruction and dismantlement, because our values and our principles, our purposes in life is love and unity. But in what we are being taught in this society is the opposite of that. And so that's what you find in our community. So Afrocentric culture or cultural education must be the center of what we're doing.
So Brother Kareem, let's just start with one of the real questions based on reading the new paradigm shift recommendation plan and position paper.
Okay.
How do we build safer communities?
The question is, how do we build safe communities?
Absolutely. It's the answer. You know, a lot of people think we just need more police. We need more police. We have JPD in the city of Jackson. We also have the Capitol Police, which, you know, is a part of the CCID. It's almost like a city within the city, yet the numbers with crime still don't look a lot different than they did prior to an additional police force. So how do we build safer communities? A lot of people think hiring more police, or is it putting more people in jail, or is there something bigger that we're missing?
Well, definitely I want to address the police enforcement. Historically, we must understand that historically put more police in the community has did nothing but a disadvantage to our community. It has never been a show of positivity in our community, whether you're talking about the Watts riot, the New York riot, George Floyd, any of that you look at, the Mike Brown, you see that when you bring police into our community, it causes the community to feel that they are under siege. But when you think about and understand the police and the purpose of the police, that's what they're there for, containment and control. They're not there to what the police car used to say on the side, serve and protect. They are there to serve and protect, but it's not us.
Right.
They're there to serve and protect corporate America. And so their job is to contain and control us. That's why they'll come in the community. If we sitting in our own community, sitting on the car, listening to the radio, they come and tell us to turn the radio down. Because their job is to control and contain us. Their job is to make sure that the multi-complex prison industrial complex, those beds are filled. And so regardless of, at 30 years ago, especially in Mississippi, the majority of the police force was Caucasian, people that look other than us.
Right.
And so we fought for years to put into place people that did look like us, because we believed that when that would happen, that would cause us to have a better lifestyle. But what we didn't understand was that it's not the person in the uniform, it's the uniform that controls the person.
Yes.
And so because of that, then you find whether it's a Caucasian police officer or a black police officer, we're still being shot down. We're still being locked up in droves. We still have mass incarceration. That's the problem in our community. So policing is not the solution. What historically also shows is that when we have our own self-governing body of individuals that's going in the community, during the time of the 60s, when they took and went into the community and started putting police in the community, what they didn't do was, instead of funding the police, the mom and pop stores where everybody hung out at. I don't know if you remember in the movie Cooley High. In the movie Cooley High, there was a little restaurant that all of them went to.
Yes.
They hung out at this little restaurant where Mama, I forgot her name, but she would always Mama Rose. And when somebody came out, she wouldn't allow them to be shooting no craps in her place, none of that.
Right.
Because she kept them in line. And so that is the type of place that we had in all our communities. Some place that we were able to go to, we were able to hang out, and there was no violence and nothing going on. But when they start funding, when Johnson and Johnson and Nixon, when they start funding the tough crime and a law bill, they funded not the EERC, the EOC, which was the Equal Opportunity Center, which was the major project that was working on putting funds into the black community. Instead, they funded the Law Enforcement Act. And by 69, 70, the Law Enforcement Act became the largest entity that was funded in the government. During that time, they took away the EOC. They stopped funding money in the community. And so they never funded those organizations that was working in our community. Instead, they funded the law enforcement that went into our community to change and contain and control us. And so the answer is we need a community of black men and black women that is committed to going back in the community, creating curriculums and organizations that will be able to address the issues in our communities that's addressing, such as making sure that the elders are taken care of, making sure that those individuals that may not be able to take care of their homes and paint their homes, or the grass that's growing in their homes, that we have individuals in our community that can take care of that. Going in your community and making sure that the young boys that are still hanging out, that they got somewhere to go. One of the major things that happened during this period of time was all our recreation centers began to close down.
Right.
You know, and so when you close down the recreation centers, what does the young boys have to go to? But that was done by design. But not only would that occur, at that same time, they were destroying the black male. The one person that was in the 60s, when the black man was working, he was able to take and fund those recreation centers. He was able to make sure that the young boys was off the streets. Even the pimps and the players back in them days would give the young boys nickels and dimes and quarters. But the first thing he would tell them, stay in school.
Right.
And so it was always the male that had that model, that power to be able to go into the black community and do something for the black community. And the black woman was always the backbone to make sure that the brother did that. And so it takes a family, as they said, to change the community, not the police.
Right. So when I look at the new paradigm shift, you know, it seems to ask questions like, there's really another way of doing things, and we just have to start thinking differently about it, right? We need to start thinking about the problem the same way we've always thought about it, and based on what we read in here, we've been spending decades of reacting to crime. Something happens, the police responds, someone goes to jail, we wait for something to happen again, they argue about the same thing, like mopping water from a leaking roof and never fixing a leak. And then instead, the paradigm shift tells us what causes, to ask these questions, what causes neighborhoods to struggle?
Mm-hmm. Again, we're talking about something that many of us don't want to talk about. Martin Luther King said it in that, and we quoted that in that paradigm shift, that most of our people don't want to think.
Right.
And so therefore, most of us don't want to think about what the problem is. And again, our biggest problem is white supremacy. We don't want to talk about white supremacy, that we're fighting a system. Mm-hmm. That is why, regardless of whether you put a black policeman or a white policeman in uniform,
right,
whether you put a black person as the mayor or a white person as the mayor, you still going to, when they got the American flag up here, they're promoting that American flag.
Right.
And that American flag represents capitalism and imperialism.
Yes.
And colonialism. And so colonialism. And so therefore, what you're dealing with an institution that most of us promote. We promote the holidays, the traditions. If you notice many of us doing St. Patrick's Day, you'll find most of us out there in St. Patrick's Day thinking we some leprechauns.
And then they get offended by Juneteenth.
Yeah, and they won't even come to Juneteenth.
I mean, not even if they don't come, you have too many people who get literally offended by Juneteenth, but they will go to any other city and go to Chinatown and respect the fact that Chinese built their own space. Yeah. They will go into any area and do that. And to me, that speaks more to a problem of our
mindset.
Yeah, or to the sickness of our mindset.
Yeah. And it's by design. And that's due to the fact there's the people, going back to white supremacy, and it has taught us that our enemy is our friend and our friend is our enemy. And so therefore, we believe that the same people who kidnapped our ancestors, who raped our great-great-grandmamas, who killed and lynched our uncles and our aunties and our fathers, who lynched them, is the same people who has built the school system to educate us and think that they're going to educate us to be something, to do something for ourselves. But when we look into the education system and we see the results of the education system, all it's making it out is some good slaves.
Yes.
And so therefore we reject that. We just call ourselves good Americans. But the good American is somebody that can go around and buy them a house, can go to adequate schools. I just heard a person say the other day, she's want to move out to Canton so that she can take her child to a better school district.
Clinton?
Yeah, Clinton. No, Canton, where she can take her child to a better school. And I'm listening to her like, but you don't even know the history of Canton. You don't know that in '66 when Martin Luther King came down and him and Kwame Torrell, Stokely Carmichael came down to Mississippi. See, many of us don't even know this history. We don't even know that Martin Luther King came down here. That during the time of what's the brother name that tried to get in Ole Miss? Meredith, James Meredith. Yes. When James Meredith got shot in '66, trying to walk, when he got shot, Martin Luther King and Kwame Torrell decided that they was going to carry on with the march. right? And so they got together and met with the NAACP, with the Urban League, and with a few other organizations because they all wanted to work together to make that happen. But NAACP, Roy Wilkins, and the leader of the Urban League, they didn't like Carmichael because he was over SNCC. And they didn't want the young people who didn't believe in nonviolence to be a part of it.
Right.
And so they told Martin Luther King that they weren't going to be a part of it. That's NAACP and Urban League. So they just led Martin Luther King, because Martin Luther King knew at that time that he needed to go another direction.
Right.
And so Stokely Carmichael and him decided that they was going to continue the march. And so when they continued the march, when they got to Greenwood, all them people slaughtered them down there. When they got to Philadelphia, they beat Martin Luther King down. When they got to Canton, they beat Martin Luther King down, locked him up. But they don't know that history. And so we promote all of these cities, and we don't know the history behind these cities because they don't teach us that history. Because the enemy is not going to teach you. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad say, if they're not going to treat you right, what make you think that they're going to teach you right?
Well, I'm going to come back to the comment about somebody going to Canton for a better school district later. But no offense. But I want we have a comment from a Mr. Jermaine Freeman for you, Brother Kareem. And let's get to it. He said, can you speak to the idea that African people in this nation, are a nation within a nation? He mentioned governance, speaking of you, but what does that look like on a national scale?
I'm glad you asked that question as well, which some say a nation in a nation, some say that we are a third world nation, right? But whichever the case may be, we are an entity within inside the entity. But the key element is that are we trying to govern ourselves? See, a nation consists of a people that is committed to a pledge or to a flag, to a oath, to a government of commitments, right?
Right.
And so when you look at us as a people, we are committed to this American flag.
Do you think we're committed, or have most of us just kind of go with the flow, go by the wayside? Is it that we have more people who are involved and not committed?
Well, there's two types of Negroes. There are two types of slaves, if I might say so. Mm-hmm. There's a slave that know they're a slave and they're always trying to come out of it. Mm-hmm. Then there's a slave that's content with being a slave. Most of our people are content with being a slave. Mm-hmm. Most of our people are content with being a slave. Mm-hmm. They might be dissatisfied with what's going on, but they're content with being that. If you give them a little bit more than what they have now, they wouldn't fight nothing.
Mm-hmm. So, and I think that that's a lot of the problem. Like, you have people who go off to college. Some go off to college, they come back, they get a job that makes above the amount that the average person in the community they came from makes. So the concentration and focus stays on being able to maintain a certain lifestyle, maintain their job position, or climb that particular corporate ladder. And so I think that more of us are fighting to be that individual, and that individualism has created a larger disconnect. Can you speak to that? Yeah,
and I want to deal with that part, but I want to come back to the brother's statement about being a nation inside of a nation. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm saying is that as a people, we want to be separate, but we don't know how to be separate. Because there's an entity inside America called the Nation of Islam that has, for the last 97 years, fought and promoted to be an independent people.
Right.
Marcus Garvey talked about being an independent people. But the majority of people that supported him was the people from Jamaica,
right,
from the islands.
Right.
Most of our people was not supportive of him. Matter of fact, majority of our people that was with the NAACP and others, they were the ones that tried to get him out of here. And so But
Do you
that
think that was out of fear though, Brother Kareem?
ignorance.
And then so with it, the same thing I feel exists today because we are not further ahead now. We actually seem to have regressed in many areas. And we still have an NAACP. We still have an urban league. We have the Baptist convention that was going on this week, I believe. We have Nation of Islam. We got the Baptists. We got the Methodists. We got the we have all these different faith-based institutions, religions. We have a lot of different community organizations, and we're still siloed and disjointed. The plans have been there. How do we get to a point of moving forward and having connectivity when we're supposed to be going towards the same mission, but each of us just going completely different streets to get there?
And because the reason why it's that is because, again, majority of those entities are being educated by the same people that enslaved us. And therefore, they are teaching us to promote their values and their principles. So when you look at the Nation of Islam, we have our own school system. Mm-hmm. If you don't control your education system, then you're either going to allow somebody else to control it. And so that is what is going on. When they talked about wage earning, when you're talking about those individuals that get those jobs, after the Civil War, mm-hmm. It was just it was a labor problem, and there was no middle class labor force. There was just a labor force that the capitalists was trying to determine how to control, how to keep these individuals at bay. The first thing they did with us as a people was they made us poor sharecroppers, and they made the poor white folks over us as supervisors.
Right.
That was their way of controlling the labor force. But there was an entity inside this that was trying to educate the labor force. So they had to come up with a scheme to how to deal with that. And what they did was they took some of the people from that labor force and educated them.
Right.
And gave them a little bit better jobs.
Right.
And so when they did that, they allowed them people to control the rest of the people. And so that is what, at the first, they would not allow us to go to college. They wouldn't allow us to go into the labor force. They wouldn't allow us to do the union and work at the union and the trades. But when they realized that in order to control the majority of the labor force, they needed a group that was called the majority or the minority of or the middle class.
Right.
Then they start choosing from that group and start allowing them. And where they went and got them from was our black colleges that they had built up. So they started with them, and they started with the mulattoes, those that they had fathered, that they had educated, and those individuals that they knew that would promote their values and their principles first. And so those were the ones that controlled the NAACP. Those are the ones that controlled the Urban League. Those individuals, the Walter Whites and the J. Weldon Johnson, those individuals looked so white they could pass for white. Mm-hmm. Walter White went down. Walter White was a secretary that went into when they lynched us, he could go into the cities, put on some overalls and act white, and they wouldn't know the difference. That's how white he was looking.
Right.
And so all the Marcus Garvey said one time he went into the NAACP office where Walter White, Roy Wilkins, and all of them was in there. He said, damn, who turned the light on? They were so light up in there. And so those were the individuals that controlled us, those individuals that was in Washington, D.C., the Pitchbacks and the Bruces, Blanche Bruce and all of them was high yellows. They were the ones that was the first one that dictated. Those individuals that was the first ones that was the entrepreneurs in our community after the Civil War and after the Civil War and the Revolutionary War. They first one that became free. All of those were mulattoes. They were the ones that bit into the system. All they would do was dress up like white folks, drive around the city, and act like white folks. Booker T said that. He said, damn, man, hell, I'm glad I didn't become a preacher because that's all they did was dressed up like white people. Mm-hmm. And so these are the ones that taught us values and principles. They're the ones that our children looked up to and mimicked how to go. It wasn't until the 60s until the Black Panthers Party, to Malcolm X, that our people start identifying being black, and it was something beautiful. Prior to that, hell, the word black was a curse. We use black as a curse. You black this, you black that. Because we have been taught that black was not. We didn't recognize the fact that Africa was the continent by which we educated people when white folks was in huts in England with animals living in huts with animals, that our people was living in Africa with glass houses and glass doors and running cold water. Right. They didn't teach us that. They taught us that we were savages. And so therefore, that is where we have to take control of our education system so that we can teach our people how to be proud of being who we are. We're not talking about hating nobody. Right. We don't hate white folks. We might hate the way you act. Hell, but I hate the way some of our people act. Right. So we're not talking about hating white people. We're talking about recognizing an enemy from a friend.
Yes. So I have another comment from Mr. Jermaine Freeman. He asks, so what is the flag of the black person in America? Reject the American flag, I'm all behind, but what flag to fly instead? Red, black, and green, red, and black, New African, that so-called Black American Heritage flag, ? So what are your thoughts on that, Brother Kareem?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. And I thank you, brother, for your question. There's some powerful questions. First and foremost, when you look in the world, other countries have many flags. But one thing about a country is sovereignty. Sovereignty means that you respect another person's flag. Right. And so therefore, flags only represent your ideology, your goals and perspective. And so whether you're raising a black flag, red, black, and green flag, whether you're raising the Star and Crescent flag, it's what the ideology behind the flag is. Right. That's why we talk about this American flag. White supremacy is behind that American flag. Elijah Muhammad used to put our flag, Star and Crescent flag, up on the blackboard, and on the other side he had the American flag. And he said the American flag stands for nothing but suffering, death, and pain. That's what it stands for us as a people. It has never gave us nothing else. And so when you're talking about a flag, you want a flag that identifies with your goals and your purpose, your ideology. So What is your ideology? If your ideology is nationalism, then red, black, and green. Mm-hmm. If your flag is universal oneness, love, justice, and equality, Star and the Crescent. Mm-hmm. But I know with Juneteenth, in Kwanzaa, we put all our flags like that up. We put the Juneteenth flag up. We put the Star and Crescent up. We put the red, black, and green up to represent the fact that all of those symbolizes our blackness. And whichever one you want to identify with. With me, I identify with the Star and Crescent. Why? Because the Star and Crescent represent freedom, justice, and equality. Yes. The moon represents equality. The sun represents justice, and the stars represent justice, and the sun represent freedom, because it gives life to everything that's up under it. Yes. Whether it's the flower, whether it's the white man, or everybody. When the sun comes up, everybody see light. Yes. So it represents freedom. It represents life. And the moon represents equality. So when you see the moon and the water that's coming out of the oceans, it begins to equalize that water and draws that water back up. That's why you have dew on the flowers in the morning, because that moon represents equality. And then the stars, of course, that's why they use it in the police department. The stars represent justice.
Brother Kareem.
Go ahead.
So Frederick Douglass made a statement once. It's easier to raise stronger children than repair broken men.
Say that again, Miss Tripp. Say that again. We ain't listening.
It's easier to raise strong children than repair broken men. So what does it look like, with that in mind, what does it look like to work with people who have these particular mindsets and still progress within communities, working with children, working with like-minded people, but also recognizing that some of those children are in the households of those broken men?
Yes, and the majority of our people are broken men. That's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we must be re-educated all over again. You know, as a little boy, when I realized in black study courses, I come to realize that Cleopatra was not Elizabeth Taylor. And I start crying.
Say that again now, Brother Kareem. I didn't hear you, sir.
When I was in black study classes, we used to have to study black books. And I was reading J. Rogers' 101 Black Facts of Amazing Black Facts. And I realized that Cleopatra was not Elizabeth Taylor, meaning that she was not a white woman. When I realized that, for everything after that point, I realized the white folks have been lying to me all my life.
Yeah.
And so from that point on, I started realizing that I would question every damn thing that they ever said to me and would ever say to me. Most of our people don't do that. We take for granted whatever these people say. And one of the major parts that we don't understand is these people are dynamic liars. White America is the best liar and the best thieves there is. Hell, they went in and robbed us, brought us over here and tricked us to be their best workers. And so when you're talking about trying to educate children, you got to have a person with a mindset that who their enemy is, who the true God is, and who their family is in order for them to teach the child right. What they're teaching the children how to be good slaves. They go out with the children and tell the children that Christmas is something they need to look forward to. They need to look forward to Easter. They need to look forward to when they lose their tooth to a tooth fairy.
Don't you beat up on my tooth fairy?
And and so when the children tell a lie, they want to spank them, but they lie to the children 24 times a day. Right. And so how can these individuals who uses the word 100 times a day, kids? Kids is not a vocabulary that come from us as a people. Our people would use the word children. Even if they didn't enunciate it right, they would say, what they would say, Sister Rashida? Children.
Children.
If they would say children.
Children.
Yes, but they never said kids. That's a term that was given to us by these European teachers.
Yes.
And so if you listen to our people talk, they talk and you can tell they've been Europeanized. And so we don't want them to be teaching our children because that's all they're going to teach our children. So that's why in the new paradigm shift, it talk about having a Afrocentric centered education system, a system that talks about our values, our principles, a system that talks about why should we celebrate and honor Kwanzaa, a system that talks about why should we honor and celebrate Juneteenth. What does it mean to us to celebrate our own black selves?
Right. You know, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing wrote in the ISIS papers, and much of her work was based around the teachings of white supremacy, racism, and the fact that this is indeed a system, not a feeling.
There you go.
And Neely Fuller Jr. had a quote surrounded by that, and he said, if you don't understand white supremacy, racism, everything that you do understand will only confuse you. Can you speak to that and how that plays into everything that we're talking about, Brother
Absolutely.
Kareem?
And that's what I was just saying is that as a people, we've been tricked that white supremacy does not exist. Prejudice is what we're dealing with.
Relegating it to a feeling.
Yes. It's prejudice. It's not white supremacy. White supremacy is a system.
Right. And and if you understand it, nobody can use terms like reverse racism with you.
Right.
And you take them seriously.
Right. But again, white supremacy is a system. It's a system of money, dollars, and cents. It's a system of slavery and free enterprise. It's a system of discrimination.
Yes.
It's a system that white people are privileged to be on the top and black people are supposed to be on the bottom. It's a system that teaches us that we are inferior and they are superior. And we walk around with an inferior complex 24/7. Why do you say that? Because you find us harming our own selves, But we're not going to go out to no white community and do no dirt in their community because they have already conditioned us to know. You come out here, we're going to do something to you.
Absolutely. That's why people are very comfortable with doing 110 on a residential street in Jackson. And as soon as they hit the Madison line, 10 and 2 on the steering wheel, cheeks are clenched together, and they're going to drop down to 30 and to 45.
Look at
Yes.
Let me ask a question. Brother Kareem,
Yes.
how can we lessen the intimidation of being in spaces with people like yourself that are informed, educated, and experienced? And, how can we lessen feeling intimidated of being in spaces of those that look like us, those that want to see best for us, and we tend to want to turn away and say that man is crazy? How can I come into that space and not be intimidated to assist? Because I looked at that paradigm report. Mm-hmm. That's deep. That it seems like it's a lot of commonality of just some simple things that we can do. And we're not talking about chasing pastors. We're not talking about chasing superstars. We're talking about chasing like-minded individuals that want to come into your space,
yes,
learn, and then go back out and put some action, and then come back and speak on what we've done so we can go back out again.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And what you have to do is first, like you said, we have to find like-minded individuals.
Like-minded.
See, society today the white America has done their job with us. We used to have to fear coming out in the community and be lynched by white America. White America does not have to worry about that no more. We are doing it to ourselves.
Yes.
That's because they taught us that. They educated us into what I told you, which was black inferiority. Another term of black inferiority is self-hate. And so therefore, whatever a black man says, nigga, I don't believe that. The white man can come right behind and say the same thing, and they accept it. But that's by indoctrination. And so we, in the local organizing committee, we have a motto. We don't go into no situation blaming the people for the circumstances by which they find themselves born into. We don't go into no situation blaming the victims for the circumstances by which they find themselves born into. However, we hold everybody responsible for their actions and accountable for their community. And what that means is that as a people, we are all victimized up under white supremacy. And so therefore, we can't blame a person for being a Negro. What we got to do is be able to recognize who we're dealing with. And if we don't have nobody that's like-minded, when Sister Felicia first started, she said, I disagree. I believe there are some people out here that are willing to do something and try to change. Those are the ones we're looking for first. We're looking for those individuals that we're in the stage of what is called a great awakening. Social media has been given for our advantage that young people now, when you're saying something to us, they can within 1 second fact check it.
Truth.
Yes.
Fact check it.
Truth.
So if you're telling the truth to the people and they can fact check it, you got their attention.
So we need to encourage people to fact check.
Yes, that's what I do.
Okay. So what's the call of action to get us closer to the space that you have in this report so that we can start doing, first of all, being able to listen? We got to learn to listen without wanting to reply all the time. How can we take action? What's the action? What's the call of action to our conversation tonight with the report that you have here?
The town hall.
Yeah,
We got a town hall?
yeah,
When is the town hall?
That's what I was about to pick.
When is the town? I didn't get the flyer. Sister Rashida, where the flyer?
Look, let's move into the
And then let me ask you, and then my next question is, how do we encourage some newbies to get their butts up off the couch and come out? How do we encourage the newbies?
Well, again, there is a strategy that we are putting together to first engage those like-minded individuals.
So we call in like-minded individuals.
That has the
like-hearted.
Like-hearted.
Like-hearted, that have the influence of the community as a whole. We are dealing with young people, 21, 22 years of age, that has captured the audience of those young individuals, as well as other individuals 30, 40, 50 years old as well. And we are discussing the new paradigm shift with them first and foremost. Because when you're organizing, you got to have a a goal, a philosophy, an ideology that everybody agrees upon. Because we are all full. We all have something that we bring to the table. And if you don't have an ideology or a format, then we'll be all over the place.
So we encouraging our 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25-year-olds to come on out and have a voice.
Absolutely.
Have some action.
Well,
participate.
If they don't come out, what they're going to see coming up is a street patrol. That's what we're organizing for.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, we're going back to the old school.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We're not going to allow.
Trip smiling.
We're not going to allow. We hear the police and the sheriff department talking about putting more police on the street. It would be detrimental to us to allow more police in our community, and we don't go out and police them.
Powerful.
You know, I
Go
want
ahead.
to jump in real quick
Go
and
ahead.
just let everybody know the theme of the town hall is making the community.
The sound that went out. Hold on. Add input.
Was I on the right part? Bro?
Yes, you don't. Yeah, that's it right
hold
there.
Tight. Hold tight. Give me 1 second. Microphone. Okay, we good. I thought the sound, well, whatever. But keep going, Miss Tripp. Start over again. Hit it again, Miss Tripp, please.
All right. During the upcoming town hall meeting and strategy session on Monday, August 31st, the LOC will unveil the next phase of action centered on implementing the recommendation outlined in its new basic new paradigm shift position paper and recommendation plan, a comprehensive framework developed to address crime, strengthen neighborhoods, and empower citizens through organized community action. For years, communities across Jackson have experienced the devastating effects of violence, crime, drugs, neighborhood decline, and the loss of opportunities for young people. The local organizing committee believes lasting change cannot come from law enforcement alone. Instead, it requires citizens, public officials, businesses, churches, and community organizations working together with a shared commitment to restoring peace, accountability, and hope. One of the primary initiatives being discussed in this establishment of a community street program. The effort is designed to organize trained volunteers who will serve as additional eyes and ears within the neighborhoods while working collaboratively with local law enforcement. The proposed patrol will emphasize visibility, neighborhood engagement, conflict prevention, youth mentorship, and reporting crime activity through appropriate channels. Is intended to strengthen trust between residents and public safety officials while encouraging greater community ownership of neighborhood safety.
Yes, yes. And so what we're doing, as she said, this is phase 3. We've had 2 town hall meetings already so that we can engage the community, get some input from them as to what some of their communities are needing, and drawing an outline. The LOC, when we have the town hall meetings, there's always someone in the meeting that is taking notes. And from that note, we formulate plans of actions to go back in the community to try to implement some of those actions. And so this took a little detailed time to put this together because there was so many different components that involved this. And one of the major ones was getting community individuals together to have a like-minded as to where we're going to identify and buy into the new paradigm shift. Because as we said, individuals in the community, it's not like individuals in the communities are not doing something positive in the community. They are. There's many organizations that are doing some things. But it's like we are in the community in a car in mud and just spinning our wheels, not making no progress.
Right.
And so until we come together as a collective, then we will not be able to make no progress. But our greatest power is our unity. Elijah Muhammad teaches us that our unity is powerful than a nuclear bomb.
Absolutely.
And so when we did the Goon Squad and was able to bring them down, that was because we had a collective effort.
Yes.
And it was a strategy that we put down and we all followed that strategy, and we was able to be successful in what we came out there to do.
Absolutely.
Brother Kareem, I noticed that on this the paradigm shift, on the very back, you've got some acknowledgments, and we definitely want to give acknowledgments to those who have contributed to the basic new paradigm shift recommendation position paper. But you have 5 components, if those are the right ones. So I'm gonna read one, and then you can kind of give me a little insight. The oversight committee. How does that apply to me in my community? The oversight committee.
Oversight committee. It plays twofold. One, it is a voice from the community, but it works in conjunction with the city officials. It helps monitor the city officials and tell them as well some of the needs of the community. It helps monitor the police department and help the police department to understand the needs of the community instead of them being the liaison between the community, which, you know, that's like the police policing their own selves.
Right.
And so the city, that committee is a committee that help police the mayor office, the city council, the police department, but it also helps to monitor our communities as well.
Continuing ongoing, this is number 2, continuing ongoing dialogue, discussion, and conversation through town hall meetings. What's another word? If we take out the word town hall meetings, what's another word we can implement there? If we take out the word town hall meetings. I like that.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we get burnt out on words.
Yeah.
And we become immune to the words and the action that goes with the words. So you said it's called a
strategy session.
That's from Sister Rashida. That's the queen over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so continuing ongoing dialogue, discussion, and conversation through strategy sessions.
Yes.
Give me a little insight to that one. That's the second component.
And that's what we're into right now. That's what we're doing. In order for us to have the street patrol, there must be a strategy session where we weed out and filter out those individuals that are not for the program.
Wow.
Yes.
Everybody might come to the table, but
Wow.
everybody is not about what we're trying to do at the table.
That's right.
Wow.
And so there must be a strategy session, and there must be an outline that everybody must buy into, so that we won't just have anybody just saying, yeah, I'm with it. And then when you look up, they're not there. Something that I was taught a long time ago about organizing is you have to determine whether or not people are for you or with you.
Wait,
There's a
what's the
difference.
difference between for you and with you?
A people that's for you is somebody that if you are getting ready to go out and do something, they might be in the window saying, hey, I'm for you.
Right.
But if they're not with you, then they're not going to be out there in the streets with you.
Involvement versus commitment.
And so therefore, you're trying to count all of them as part of being out there with you. And you think you got 50 people, you ain't got but 10.
Brother Kareem, what's the difference between running something and being in control of something? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
For you and with you. Okay, number 3. I asked Brother Kareem that on the front end, so he brought it back to me. He didn't give me my answer, but I got it just then. All right. Number 3, establishment, and this is one of my favorites. Establishment of a community youth board.
Yeah.
What's the impact of that, sir?
Well, I want to use Greenville, Mississippi as an example because that new paradigm shift was implemented in Greenville as a model. Everything that you're talking about, we basically implemented in Greenville. We started with a youth council board out of the LOC, and we took those individuals from there and had them working with the mayor. Now the mayor has what is called the Youth Mayor Board Council. And so those individuals now are individuals that work with the mayor office, and they do input. They help organize different events. They go out and speak to the community, and so it gives those individuals leadership skills. Another part of the youth board is that we just formulated a plan that's called Freedom Party Club, and the Freedom Party Club is as when you go into the schools, you see the schools have these chess clubs, these homosexual clubs, all these other clubs.
Wait, did you say the homosexual club?
They got them in there too. They got them in there too, sorry. And so why not have a Freedom Party Club that teaches the children civic education, that teaches the children through films and stuff about the Civil Rights Act, that teach them about the freedoms of summer, teach them about the Black Panthers, who they were, what they was about, that gives them those types of education in their club. And then that club also allows them to go out and learn how to register people to vote. That's one of the major goals of them, is to learn how to register people to vote and learn them how to vote for the people that are with them. Whether we ain't talking about no Democrats or no Republican. We're not into no party. We're into trying to determine who's for us and who's with us and voting for those who with us and not who's for us.
Number 4, culturally based community education and training outreach centers, because we can't get everything we need inside of a school building. So that means we got to bring it out to other satellites. Go right ahead, brother.
But we can get it inside the school building if we go in there and take over the school building.
Okay.
See, it's going to take some time. But if we financing it, see, we're coming to find out that the education system is through.
I like in here it says, realizing in this case, I love this right here, both black and white have been miseducated and falsely indoctrinated.
Yes.
Give me a little, peel that back for me.
Yes. And that what we're saying is that white people have been tricked as well. They believe that God,
Yes.
they're going to see grandmama when they go up in the sky and when they die too. They've been tricked too. Matter of fact, they believe that more than black people believe in that.
You know what's funny? They believe that when they know that grandmama will put her foot on somebody's neck. But they think she's going to die and then go to heaven, be forgiven on her deathbed.
Sitting in the front row.
But they've been tricked to believe that. They so believe that even though with the Catholic Church and the homosexuality that is going in the Catholic Church, they still are devoted to that because they've been tricked to believe that the Vatican is the vicegerent of God. So they've been tricked. They was tricked to say that we, at one time, through scientific education, it was called race science, it was called. In the 1910, the 1920s, 1890, it was called race science, where individuals wrote papers up on that we was inferior and they were superior, saying our brain
smaller.
Yes.
Yes.
And they wrote books on this, and white folks, that's what they read.
Yes.
And so therefore they grew to believe that. And so this is what they have grown to believe. What we're looking at when we're looking at the 2015, 2020, we're looking at a new breed of young people that don't believe that they have come to interact with. See, those other white folks stayed away from us. So they didn't see black people. So they could believe what they seen on TV, that them niggas are inferior. And so when the white folks start going to school with us, when they started engaging with us, when the athletes and the entertainers start entertaining them and engage with them, then they begin to realize when the Harlem Renaissance period came in and them white boys would come up from Manhattan and come up to Harlem, they would realize that the brothers up there were just as cool. Matter of fact, they was cooler. So they began to produce children that began to see us in a different light. But they still got that white blood in them. And they still want to be superior over us. Okay, how much they might like us.
Right.
They still got that Caucasian blood, and that Caucasian blood teaches them that they are superior to us. And that they have the upper hand. And when you look at America, you see that's true.
Right.
So why wouldn't they want to be white?
Right.
Why wouldn't they want to feel like that? But what we are saying is that we want equality. We want justice. And we want freedom. But the only way we're going to get freedom, justice, and equality is that we demand it and do something for ourselves.
You use there's a term in here saying community collective work, responsibility, peace, and unlimited prosperity.
Yes.
Number 5, and also sensitivity training to improve and strengthen sensitivity.
Yes.
What is Ms. Tripp, what does that sound like? Sensitivity training to improve and strengthen sensitivity.
Empathy, for one thing. I think that too many of us are lacking the human component. A lot of people are borderline humanoids because they're so into social media and computers. And when somebody comes on TV, when a young man has gone on a boat trip and then not come back the same way, when his mother and his family are getting autopsies done in this day and time, and the only thing you can do is glaze past that and look at the next death and feel nothing.
You're right.
We have a sickness that is going on, so we need to be back
That's
in tune
deep.
with humanity itself.
But let me add to that, though.
That's deep.
You're talking about close to 1,000 people was on that island. He was the only black person. Wouldn't that, if he has not been indoctrinated, wouldn't that say something? Do you think that if there was 1,000 black people, it'd be 1 or 2 white folks with them? No. If they were, they would be totally black.
Right.
like in SNCC, you had a couple of white folks down there, they was down.
There's some out there that's down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They down.
So that would be the one.
Right.
But you're talking about 1,000 Caucasians. That was the same situation with Eddie Parker and Michael Jenkins. They were dealing with the white girls. Emmett Till, dealing with a white girl. And so when are we going to learn that this is not the time, especially Mississippi?
It's still Mississippi.
It's still Mississippi.
It's still burning.
And so
It's still on
therefore,
fire.
we got to teach our people that we ain't talking about hating one another. We're just talking about identifying who your enemy is
Just keep,
and keeping them at a distance.
keeping it real.
I can see you in the streets, or I can go to school with you. I can even work with you, but I'm not going on no island
Right.
and hang out with no white girl.
I worked for a company. I was the only brother on the boat with a life preserver. I said, "There's too much water out here to drink."
God.
I'm the only one. Number 5, career opportunities. And in here it says, A, emphasize, share with the youth and the community in general on a regular basis. Career opportunities.
Yes, and what we are talking about there is that we have to be able to offer our children alternatives. And what you are finding is that they say that they have vocational training, like the college out there at Unica. Unica has a vocational program out there with everything. And so the question you have to ask is, why don't the children go there?
Right.
And they know that these children don't have the means to go there.
One is transportation.
All of that.
Yeah.
See, when I came up in the 60s, going back to what I'm saying about Nixon and what they did, when I was coming up in the 60s, they had what was called manpower program. And those programs gave us stipends to go to school. Those programs gave us stipend that once we finished the trade, we got checks every week. You see? That is what them funds did for us. Manpower, Job Corps. They gave us stipends and funds. They know that that is what it takes. But what they do, they offer the programs, but they don't make the money available for the children to get to the program. They don't make the money available. You got a 17, 18-year-old person. That means that if they're 18 years old, mama ain't buying them shoes no more. Mama ain't necessarily paying for their food no more. So they got to do something for themselves. So if they don't have no money to go to school, no stifling to help them while they're through school, where they going to get their incentive to go to school when somebody telling them, here, you can take this and go sell it and make some money?
Right.
So we got to have alternatives, and we got to be able to fund that, whether the government funded for us or not. We spend over $30 million a year on Christmas trees alone. You didn't hear what I just said.
I wasn't listening. I don't want to hear the truth.
How many homes are in the Jackson alone? Over 3,000 homes. Of them homes, everybody spent at least $300 on a Christmas tree. Now you count that. That is how we spending that on Christmas trees, something we're going to throw out in 30 days. But if we took that money.
Some of them should continue.
If we took that money and instead of spending it on a foolish European tradition that has nothing to do with Jesus, because our people have been hoodwinked to believe that if you take Christmas from them, you're taking God from them. They've been hoodwinked to believe that. That if you take Christmas from them, you're taking Jesus from them. They've been hoodwinked to believe that. Christmas ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. He was not born on December 25th.
Born in heat.
He was not born on December. Fact check it. Fact check it. He was not born on December. So who was born on December 25th? What does Christmas have to do with Santa Claus? And when you take the word Santa and scramble it, it comes up to the word Satan. Hello, somebody. When you look at the word that they call Santa Claus, Saint Nick, when you look it up in the dictionary, it says one of the words for Saint Nick is the devil. Hello, somebody. So what and who are we really worshiping? Why do we have a tree and we take and put presents up under the tree if Jesus is who we are worshiping or who we are honoring? Why are we worrying about getting a present when it's his birthday? Something wrong with that picture.
Something wrong. Better back up and back out.
And so if you take and tell them to quit celebrating Christmas, they've been hoodwinked to believe it has something to do with religion. And so therefore, if we would just take that money that we spend on Christmas and finance our education for our children, you'll see a difference.
Ms. Tripp, what kind of strategic planning? What Sister Rashida, what we're going to call it besides a town hall meeting?
We're going to call it a strategy session.
A strategy session. You got that time and where we supposed to meet on the strategy session?
August 31st, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
I like that.
What's the location, Brother Kareem?
I don't know.
Well,
It's on Nelson Street.
no, we in Jackson.
Yeah.
We in Jackson.
It's going to be at the
If y'all
Family
go to
Life
Nelson Street, be
Center.
sure to let them know Brother Kareem sent you and told him we got a strategy meeting going on.
Okay. It's going
right.
to be on 517 North Ferris Street, Jackson, Mississippi. That's again Monday, August 31st from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
And we'll continue to put it out. We got an announcement. You got a flyer.
And
I'm gonna have a flyer.
yeah, and
Yes.
any information that they want, call 662-577-1258.
Ms. Tripp, I got to get you on this one here. Community economic development, quality, jobs, work, and opportunities. What will that do for the community? Community economic development, quality, jobs, work, and opportunities. If you had to put those in a rank, how would you rank them? Community economic development, quality, jobs, work, and opportunities.
So, community economic development is going to be based on the accessibility to quality
You are
jobs
so
or
deep.
access to funding to create entrepreneurial space.
Wow.
So it's like there's no separation to be able to rank one
Okay.
over the other, but one can't happen effectively without the other.
Wow.
And let me deal with self-analysis and for us to do something for ourselves. The local organized committee when we say we've implemented this, we mean we've implemented it. We had in 2018, 2019, 2 economic summits in the Delta that deal with what we're talking about and how to deal with that. From that economic summit came what we call the 80-20 plan.
80-20.
And the 80-20 plan consists of how to get our people to buy from their own selves, spend 80% of their dollars with somebody that looked like them. And we talked about what strategy that we would use in order to get our people to begin to gradually do that. So we had to come up with some products. And so we developed what was called powers. Power means people organized, working for economical rebirth and spiritual stability in neighborhoods and communities. And so these are products that made by us for us, such as laundry detergent, dishwashing liquid, hygiene products, deodorant, soap, toothpaste, and other products that our people make that's offered to our people. So when we're talking about alternatives to Walmart and Kmart and them, we're talking about having products that we have produced. These products are now for our young people that we can teach them how to go door to door and tell the individual people, if you don't want this brother out here selling drugs, if you don't want this brother out here hustling, buy his products.
That's true.
We ask them to
That's
take
true.
these products into the beauty salon and the barber shops, and we tell them brothers and sisters in there, let these young brothers set up a stand in here. And then they come back once or twice a month and restock whatever, and whatever they done sold, you just pay them that commission and they go on about their business. Right. The second part of it is agriculture piece that we added into that. And that is where our black farmers take their products and they give them, and we set up what is called farmer markets. And we let the little brothers manage those farmer markets. And now they can come in and they can sell those farmers' goods that's made, those cans that the sisters canning, and they can now sell those goods and they got revenue. So we don't have to wait on white folks to do nothing for us.
Right.
All we got to do is come together and do for ourselves.
Powerful, powerful. All right. We got 8 minutes left, Miss Tripp. Anything you want to chime in on that we need to be consciously aware of?
Well, you know, the more that we learn about how other communities, cultures, and countries are as it pertains to certain things, such as, like Brother Kareem was talking about, access to fresh produce. We think that it's a great thing to be able to go to a grocery store and have food in a freezer forever. But the truth is, so many other people go to a market on a regular basis and they get fresher food. So if we get this mindset, get out of the mindset of consumerism, because that's what it all amounts to. And we can have a healthier community.
Being pimped and played.
Oh, absolutely. But we pimp ourselves by trying to fall into the mold of what someone has told us. We have got to get into a space of critical thinking.
Ooh, think for yourself.
We can't unlearn until we make an intentional decision to do such a thing.
An intentional. What does intentional look like, Ms. Tripp?
Intentional. Me knowing that I have a low concentration rate, but I look on my phone and I say, oh, I was on Facebook for 23 out of the 24 hours of the day. So I will intentionally be taking some of those apps off my phone so I don't have as much access to it. And intentionally putting my mind, my thoughts, and my efforts into things that are positive contributors to building my mind, not destroying it.
And I want to add to that as well, is that with our people, I don't want us to leave here with our people thinking that we are indicting them. We said that the LOC has a motto that we don't go into no situation blaming the people, meaning our people,
right,
for what they were born into. They were born into white supremacy. They were born in this education system, that's indoctrination. And so we don't come in there like when you find most of the people, when the sister go to the school and she go and act a fool at the school. Well, she needed it. No, she been trained to do that. This is the way her mind, she may not have never even left her neighborhood. Don't know nothing about the outside world. This is all she know is the wires of Atlanta. You know, and so therefore we need to be able to take the time and show her something alternative. Be able to give her an alternative until we can meet her where she's at. Then that could never happen. Our people are traditionally stuck on what is called nostalgia.
Ooh, wait.
Yep.
And so therefore, when they go into the supermarket, that little music be playing, and they don't know, they see, hi, Miss Sally. This is what they used to. This makes them feel good.
Right.
And so therefore, they are about trying to cope from day to day. And whatever makes them feel content, that's what they're looking for. And so for us to tell them to quit going to McDonald's and cook, that's taking them out of comfort zone. And so we have to gradually get them into the habit and understanding that the food that they are eating is killing them. The food that they're eating is causing their mindset to think other than themselves. That's why they're so eager to anger.
Right.
That's why they're so anxious to smack the child or curse in front of the children, because they have not been taught better. And so until you are taught better, you won't do better. And so we got to first learn how to love on our people, have patience with our people, and be willing to sacrifice with our people. And our people will come around. We are the most loving people in the world.
Last but not least, how do we invite all these different organizations? I'm not talking about the churches and the pastors and them guys. They got their own thing. How do we invite
They are invited too.
They invited. Thank you, Ms. Tripp.
We got one brother. We got one brother already. That's Dominique with the the church. Sister Russia, you remember? Life Center. Yeah, well, we have in the event.
The event is in the church. It'll be in the Life Center.
How do we invite some of these? How do we pour and water into these other organizations that are grassroots, to have them to send a representative and come out and sit in action with us?
Well, brother, the most you can do is promotion, is to get the word out, and to see. It's like fishing, and you fish and find out who's gonna bite the hook, right?
Right.
If you are speaking truth, if you're speaking to the time and what needs to be done, and you're speaking to the needs of the people, and you get the word out, you're going to get the group that need to become, that God going to send to you. And when you get those individuals, you got to have a plan of action to implement what you're trying to do, because our people are tired of talking.
We are. Yes. I'm burnt out.
We're tired of talking. So this is why it's called Phase 3.
Phase 3.
Which is the implementation of the street patrol. Yes. It's time for us to come together, go in our community, and shut it down.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's time out for the nonsense.
Right.
And it's going to take some strong black men and women.
Yes.
10,000 fearless street patrol. That's what it's called.
Right.
These are trained individuals that are trained in first response, that are trained in CPR, that is trained in rescue and recovery, that is trained in conflict resolution, that is trained in mental illness, that is trained in gun violence, that's trained in when they shoot in the streets. What is it called? What is it called when they street violence?
Okay.
They are trained in how to interact with those types of things. They are trained how to interact with the law enforcement. These are individuals that we are training to go in the community. We're not just getting people that come to the town hall meeting and say, I want to go out there.
Right.
No, it don't work like that.
Yeah, they got to be trained.
And we also trained in self-love. Self-love.
Yeah.
Self-love.
That's the key.
I want to give a shout out to Sister Rashida. We always want to thank you for putting in the work that you put in. Brother Larry, Brother Kareem, Brother Larry's in Greenville, Mississippi. Give a shout out to him. Let me play this off. Brother Larry, we hollering at you. I'm hollering at you. I can't see Brother Kareem without calling your name. It's always Tell the Truth Tripp. It's a pleasure to have you. We want to close out. I'm going to let Ms. Tripp go first with some words of action and push towards the community. Then I'm going to let Brother Kareem close us on out. Go right ahead.
I'm going to tell everybody a really quick story. I'm sure y'all have heard about it before. A chicken and a pig walking down the street, and the chicken said, we should open up a restaurant together. And the chicken was going to provide the eggs, but they were going to call the restaurant Ham and Eggs. So the pig said, I'm going to sit this one out. The chicken said, why? Because you involved. For me, it's going to take total commitment. So we looking for the people in our community to understand we don't just need environment, we need commitment. We're not looking for you to chop off a thigh and fry it up or anything like that. But you have to understand that being involved in such a way that you understand it's connected to your life, to your productivity. We need that level of commitment.
I like that what you just said. It made me think of one that I want to close out with as well. And it's called a lad was walking down the street and he decided to go take a swim. I mean, the truth was walking down the street and he decided to go take a swim. So the truth went in and went into the pond and took all his clothes off. So behind him came Lie. So Lie happened to see Truth swimming and he seen all his clothes on the side of the pond. So Lie went up there and took his clothes on, put on True clothes and started walking down the street. So when Truth seen that Lie had his clothes on, he jumped up out of the pond and started chasing butt naked down the street after the Lie. And so we've been chasing the Truth all along. We've been chasing the naked Truth all along, chasing after a butt naked Lie.
Fully clothed Lie.
Fully clothed Lie, butt naked. And we refuse to put on the Lie. And so therefore, that is what we're trying to deal with now. We're trying to kill the lie and deal with total truth. And that's what our people are striving for right now. They want truth. And so we are saying that's what social media will give to you. Listen to what we are saying. Don't believe what we're saying. Fact check it. If what we're saying is not actual fact, then call us on it. But don't close your ears to us. You have pioneer individuals that has made it through this struggle. We have something that God has given us to stay around, to give to you. So take the time to listen to us. And if we are not telling you the truth, then you can go about your business. But if we are, I beckon you to listen.
The biggest lie told is when you tell yourself and you believe it. The second biggest lie told is when you're telling a lie and those that are standing around you allow you to tell that lie. We want to thank you all so much for connecting with Community Connections, Conversations, Community Strong for Jackson MS-Nairobi, Kenya. When is this event again, Ms. Tripp? Because they sleeping. They sleeping.
August 31st, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay, and we're going to really be pushing that because we need you all to get up off the couch, stop being in a stuck mindset, come out and take action, and let's go into the third phase of this, which is our street patrol.
Yes.
Is that going to be 24? We can do that 24 hours?
Yes.
Okay. We used to do that.
Yes.
We used to do that.
Yes.
Last but not least, brother Kareem. Last but not least, I've done well up to the last part of this. Why do we think that we have made it through the struggle?
I go back to the education system.
Okay.
The school does not teach that we have not. It does not teach. It tells us that Martin Luther King had a dream. And now they took the dream away and made it a basketball team. And so our school system does not teach about the struggle. It does not tell. Our people don't know nothing about no W. Du Bois, Marcus Garvey, David Walker, Adam Clayton Powell, Thurgood Marshall. They don't know nothing about none of these people. Who they are, they might know their names, but understanding or studying them, they know nothing about them in the school. I mean, not just the high schools or the elementary school. I'm talking about the colleges.
Yeah.
You got people in Jackson, Mississippi don't even know who Meg Evans is. He's driving up and down the street every day.
And so it's this, why W. Du Bois said this one time about the education system. He was doing a piece on the education system. He said, you're not going to go to Spain and go to their education system and they don't teach you about Spanish education. You're not going to go to Greece and go to a Greek school and they're not going to tell you about Greek history.
Right.
So how can black people go to a black institution and don't learn about their black self? It's something wrong with that picture.
Hey.
But we see the effect of it. There was two people, two ladies driving down the street as I close. And they was driving down the street and this man was walking across the street staggering. And you could see he had an alcohol bottle in his pocket. And the lady on the passenger side said, girl, look at that. There go our problem. As I close, the lady said, driving. No, baby, that's not the problem. That's the effect of our problem.
Ooh. That's it. Community Connections Conversations. Be sure to wind this one back and eat on it.
Hey, 601. Unity, love, and peace. Get peace. Love. Put community strong. Hey, everybody. Hey, we got something to say. Listen. Hey, we got something to say. Hey. Reach one, teach one, community strong. Hey, we got something to say. Hey, we got something to say. Hey, better get off the couch. Reach one, teach one, community strong. Welcome to the show. We about to drop some knowledge. The Mr. Howard Sanders with the brother Coach Abadi. Superheroes, conversation about the real. They try to keep it clean, but let's express how you feel. Good spirits, good vibe, no hatred or no hate. We all in the same gang, gonna change a better day. The prophet of the truth, initials POT. No price tags on this knowledge, you can get it for the free. Reach one, teach one, the old and the young. We got it by the spirits with the power of the tongue. I'm on the inside looking out, they on the outside looking in. Keep it cordial, don't export it. Call them family, call them friends. You pursue it, you can do it, show love, count your blessings. Life is hard, but it's fair, and it comes with some lessons. Mental power for an hour, plus some knowledge come to college. Important people, different topics, not that daily garbage gossip. Hey, we got something to say. Listen. Hey, we got something to say. Listen. Hey, better get off the couch. Reach one, teach one, community strong. Hey, we got something to say. Hey, we got something to say. Hey, better get off the couch. Reach one, teach one, community strong.